Yes, Mr. Blond Shepherd, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I again thank you very much for joining us, for joining the Doctor of Ventilation group, for HICO group, to promoting the poultry and livestock and education. Uh, you are also a part of our team, sir. So let us know your special tips for the layers. Yes, because you know every man have a special tips. It's of their past experience and past educations or past working. They have a lot of tips in his heart, yes, in mind. So let us know our audience, our veterinary peoples, our students, our internship peoples, our general managers, our PhD doctors, all of our clients and our friends want to know the special tips. Yes, let us know, sir, please.
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
Let us know the special tips for the growers of layer cages, for the entrepreneurs, for the students of veterinary, for the veterinary doctors, the special tips. Yes,
The, the steps,
tips, special tips, tips.
tips, tips.
Yes,
How to get the maximum from cages.
yes, yes. How to take the maximum production, how to maintain their optimum temperatures, how to maintain the humidity levels, how to maintain their well-being of the bird, and the last but not the least, how to get the maximum profit.
Imran, you know, giving tips and how to manage poultry correctly and getting the maximum from the birds, as I've mentioned earlier, comes from one thing only, and that's from the rearing. And I'll stress, I'll say this once again and again. If those birds are not reared correctly from day 1 to 16 weeks, you can take those birds and put them into the laying cages, and I can guarantee you now they will not perform to optimal production. Um, you I've seen it where I've done studies on rearing where I used a normal commercial starter and grower. And I also did with another batch of chicks in the same house. I used a special starter, which was only used for 7 days of a chick's life. But it was a diet which is specially formulated for a chick at 7 days.
Hmm.
And I took the body weights, the feed intakes of these 2 flocks. And I can assure you now that the one with a special diet of 7 days outperformed the other one by a long way. And when I say that, I talk of immunity of the bird, the mortality was lower, the body weights were on target, whereas the one without the good diet was underweight. Feed intakes were slightly under with the special diet, and with the other diets, the feed intakes were higher. When these birds were placed in into the cages, these 2 flocks were compared. And I can assure you now that the one flock that had the special diet and was well reared outperformed the other one by by 20% and more. It was significant. The lower, the special dieted birds cost less and to produce those eggs and the number of eggs. So there's no special tips. But the other tip that I would love to give you and to your students, and it's
Yes, yes, please.
been with me all my life, and that is good management. Don't just rely on technology, but good management will get
Absolutely
results.
right. Absolutely right. Yes. Yes,
So
absolutely right. And also, you told me before when we were starting the webinars, uh, also you told me that even you have a best technology, and also this word uh, told me to my teacher, the first teacher, Mr. Werner Grundman. He told me that same things that you already told me, that even you have a best technology, you have a cameras, you have a best systems in the of the world, and you have a best controller, you have a best team, but the main thing is that you should not aware of your chicken, although you visit to the house and sit on the level of your bird and feel what they feel and listen what the sound of the chicken. And if you
absolutely,
are able to judge and understand the sound of chicken, the language of the chicken, you are the best manager. Yes, this wording. Yes,
you have said it. You couldn't say it better. You have said exactly what it should be. And I'll
yes.
I'll give you another saying which was said to me many years ago, Imran. When we started the environmentally controlled houses, we had open type houses, right? And now we were starting the environmentally controlled houses, and they were fully automated, as you well know, fully automated in every respect. The person I worked for he said to me, Grant, if you thought the management in those open houses was significant, your management in those environmentally controlled houses is 100% more. And he was 100% right. There's no doubt about it. If you
Yes.
don't manage those houses correctly, Imran, there will be bad results and poor results. And I think people tend to rely far too much on technology and say, oh, it's I don't have to go into the chicken house today. And that's a mistake. As you and I well know, it's been with those birds continually and understanding what's going on. And if you do that, you'll pick up problems very quickly. Ventilation, even on the ventilation side, I have as you've heard in the webinar, um, there are so many things to look for in that. How many people, and I'm going to ask you this, how many managers, even though they've got an environmentally controlled system, they've got the Viper, they've got everything going for them, how many of the managers, Imran, take a wind speed meter, a simple wind speed meter, and walk into a chicken house and measure at basis points the wind speed? That can tell you a lot. That can tell you an awful lot about what's happening in your poultry house as far as wind speed is
Exactly.
concerned.
Exactly. Yes.
You know, so from a practical point of view, I'm a practical kind of person. I'm not, I don't, I love technology. Technologies, I use it as support, but I don't use it as the bottom line for poultry. No.
Yes, exactly. You are 101%. Yes, you're absolutely right, sir. So thank you very much for great tips. And in the last, yes, The people must, yes, I will tell you again that you repeat your last tip for the farm manager, for the farm supervisor. I think it's better to repeat again, sir. Yes.
The repeat the tips again.
No, the last one that
The
even you have a
technology,
best technology. Yes, yes. This
even though
this
you've
this
got
this center.
absolutely with the best technology in the world, do not use that as what you have in a poultry house. If you're going to stand, what we call sitting outside in the outside and saying everything is okay in the chicken house, that's the mistake that you will make. Don't rely on your technology. Go into a chicken house and actually go through
Yes.
those birds with a fine tooth comb and see what's the problem. You might have a ventilation problem. You might have a feed problem. You might have a water problem. You might have a disease and you didn't know, and you wouldn't know it. So yes, it's stockmanship. If I can call it, if I can just say one word, stockmanship. And it's extremely important, Imran, for your students and everybody that knows poultry to understand that these are the things which make poultry successful. Everybody wants to be successful. We all want to have the greatest productions. We want to have the lowest feed intakes. We want to have the lowest mortalities. How is that achieved? It's not achieved by technology. It's achieved by you manager going into your poultry house and spending time there. And it's that daily inside information that you get from those birds, as you mentioned earlier on, that's the results that you will get when you come back. And it's reacting quickly. Um, Imran, I can just say, I working in these kind of environments that you worked in as well, especially with high humidities and high temperatures, a lot of people
Yeah.
don't seem to understand, and I think that's something which the humidity and temperature side of it is something important, which I think one needs to look at in these kind of houses. You can have too much humidity. Oh yes, definitely so. But you can actually make it worse if you've got cooling pads or or these mist sprayers by having them on. And a lot of people seem to think, well, if I've got a cooling pad system or a mist spraying system, it must help. It must cool it down. Well, if your outside humidity is 80 or 90%, you're in trouble, as you well know. So yes, um,
Yes.
it's basic management, and I don't mind saying it, but um, if one wants to be successful, then they must use basic management.
Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yes. So thank you very much for great saying, for great advices. So again, thank you very much. So thank you very much, and thank you to my all viewers and my all students and my all friends of the poultry of this field. And please let us know that. Also write a comments, and if you have any questions, please you after the watching the video, you write the comments on our this downside on comment sections, and let us know that do you like our this video, and if you have any questions, please write us, we will answer you. And because what we are doing, we are promoting the livestock and poultry education to the world. So thank you very much. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.